celebrate that over there in England.
All right. Let's see. So do you want to talk about what's going on with the building?
So Vampirella, I kept thinking, you know, I bet you I can build her a coffin. And I did in 2 hours. I just got out here, got the notion to do it, got the gumption, and I just before I knew it, it was like 2 hours later it was done, and I stained it and found one of the real dolls that out of all the slips they have, there was one red one, so I lined the coffin with it, and Vampirella's in it. She sleeps in it every time, all the time. And the girl serving her breakfast, because I set this up this morning, she actually was the doctor, is the doctor in the town, but she's, you know, just dressed up in a different thing now. And of course, stunt scrunch, because I have the real scrunchie around my neck with the melted hair.
How was the hair melted on Scrunch?
Well, she was a bit dirty and stuff in the wintertime, and so I washed her off and wet her hair and everything. I was cold, so I figured she was cold, and I figured, oh, nice blow dryer. That'll warm her up. And her hair just curled up. So she has a shorter, like, version of that stunt scrunch's hair. So that's what Deja's hair used to look like.
Oh, that's great.
And of course, Purgatory is in the holding cell with the door open, just chilling, because it's not really a holding cell. It's just, I don't know. I just needed some kind of some place to put it. And so this turned out from being the Marwincol jail or Marwincol police station to I shortened Vampirella's name, and so I think I'm going to name this Rella's Rooms, and kind of like make it, you know, like a chick hangout, rooms for rent and stuff like that. And of course there's Sarah and Hoagie just chilling. Those are the benches from the church, the Marwincol church. So I'm still using the benches. One is here on the first floor, and two are up here, up on the second floor.
Yeah, there's the other one. And the pulpit.
Yep.
Okay. So, a little bit about this building. You've got the roof that opens up, and you've also got the bottom that folds up as well.
This is what I always like envisioned, is some kind of a hinge thing to where I just undo a couple of screws, and these knobs, my youngest brother, he varnished them and stuff for cabinets in my house, but they already had knobs on them. So I had these knobs for, I don't know, 14, 15 years. I've had these. And so the bottom one hinges out. Then the top one, I put the other handle on there so I can have something to hold on to when I set it down like that. And of course there's only 3 big windows to look through to allow light in there so mold doesn't grow. I hate that. But I'm excited. Now I'm working on a third building just like the original Mormon call. 3 buildings.
Okay, so I'm gonna pan over to it. This is the foundation here.
There's stuff sitting on top of the floor right now, so, but that's where it's gonna be. And this is the one side. This is the one side of the new building, the 3rd building. It's gonna be kind of like a medical center, and I want to put "thank you" with a big red cross, frontline workers, so everyone who drives by can see it. Because right next door I have a nurse that lives right next door, a frontline worker, so she'll see it every time she comes home.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to say hi to everyone who's here. We've got Kaylin and Kevin and Ruby and Stefan from Germany. Thanks for everyone who's joining in. Just a reminder, if you've not been to one of our Facebook Lives before, please feel free to ask Mark any questions about what's going on during his talk. I'll eventually get to them. It just takes a little time sometimes because when Mark's talking, I don't want to interrupt him.
That's why I don't like talking so much.
Yeah. So Melissa says, I love watching you explain your process and your work. Thank you for the inspiration.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Maybe Melissa does some similar work.
And the windows I put in with screws so I can take them out, like in the summertime, to air the place out. But this is the only building with like hinged doors and everything where I can air it out just by doing that. I don't have to take the windows out.
Yeah. So obviously we're outside. Those of you on the East Coast might know it's a very stormy day today. So we got rained on earlier.
Yeah.
So we've got plywood in the trees. Mark's hair looks fantastic.
No, it doesn't. It did before, and then all of a sudden, the sky opened up. So. But
I gotta say, I like the Phantom of the Opera Take 2 on the photo on the T-shirt choice. It's.
I had a nice striped shirt on with a collar, right?
Yeah.
That's rare when I wear a shirt with a collar, a golfer shirt or whatever. And it got soaked. So I was like, I'm wearing black pants. Why don't you just throw on a black thing? I try not to wear anything with advertisements on it or anything except Hogancamps Cat Bite Club. But or Wonder Woman. I have. So maybe I do wear some advertisements.
When important. So hi to Roxanne Ratterman and Nicole and Hannah. It's great to see you. Heather Bunch.
Oh,
nice to see you as well too. I'm sorry, I'm trying to like everyone's photos and posts. So what you were talking about before, Mark, is the issues that sometimes happens with having your world outside here, the rain and etc.
Yeah.
So
I had everything set up. So when Janet got here, all she would have to do is start filming. Would just wait. The sun was out, almost like it is now. Mm-hmm. Sky was blue. I went over to my neighbor's house to say hello and check on her and see if she's still safe and everything. Walking back over here, the sky opened up and everything got soaked. First, the inside of the building got all rain in it and everything, and that's a first that one of my buildings. See, there's still water in here. Yeah. When the doors were all open and it poured like you wouldn't believe. And my plywood shelter didn't work because it was leaking all over the place. Les Stroud would be proud of me.
Who's Les Stroud?
Survivor Man.
Oh, okay. Tracy asks, what happened to the church and the town since you moved the pews from the church?
The church is right underneath my trailer when I took it apart. It was just falling apart so badly, but I figured it has history. It's part of the history of my world. So I saved everything, even the bell tower. And it's all underneath my trailer, all safe. The whole town is. Whatever wasn't so rotten that it fell apart in my hands whatever I bent, and it was still sturdy enough, I put underneath the trailer. And I don't even think about it, the old town, but now with this 3 building scheme, it's exactly like I started the original town 19 or 18 years ago, and the first thing I built was the Catfight Club. And second thing, well, these are obviously different buildings now, but yeah, that's going to be an awfully small medical center. That's because nobody gets injured here.
Yeah, there's not that many people here.
It's a town of women. Everyone's careful. Except
Yeah.
me, I'm clumsy, fall down and stuff. Thinking, oh.
It's nice to have women around.
It is.
So, stories, Stefan, you had to leave. Nice, thanks for coming by. And Taya, I want to say hi. And Chuck says greetings from Cornwall, who's getting the storm now.
Yeah.
Jessica says hi. Hi, Jessica. And Peter from Belgium says hi, of course.
Oh,
A
cool.
lot of people often wonder why Marwin calls a Belgian town. I have my idea of why you've called it, why Marwin Call is in Belgium.
Well, it's because it seems like when Europe wants to go to war, they always pick Belgium as a boxing ring. And Belgium gets all fucked up and burnt and blown up and shit. And then everybody leaves. Poor Belgium's there with their chocolate and beer. That's all they want to do is make chocolate and beer. They don't want to have all these wars going on. They have no qualm with anybody else. That's
Yeah.
my thing. And because my grandfather on my mother's side was in the Luftwaffe, and he had a BMW with a sidecar, and they were on he was a mechanic for the anti-aircraft guns, and they were in a troop column one time, and a Russian scout plane came over, one of those biplanes with the 2 wings, and so they didn't have any machine guns or bombs on the thing, but the guy in the back threw out handfuls of these things that were larger than a grenade and smaller than a mortar, my grandfather told me. Like whatever he could throw out of the cockpit. And they landed all over the place. My grandfather said he jumped under a truck, and when it was all over, he went to get up and he couldn't, and his leg was gone. I think it was this leg. And below the knee, it was just hanging by a thread. So, and he was out of the war for the rest of the time. But that was near a Russian river, I think he said. He was on the Eastern Front, yeah.
It's great that you have these stories from your grandfather to tell.
And I asked him as a kid, Poppy, did you have a machine gun on the sidecar? And he said, not until we got into Belgium. And maybe that's why I picked Belgium. And he found a machine gun, a MG34, and put it on, mounted it on his sidecar. But I'm so grateful I remember that still.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I picked Belgium.
That's great. It's a bigger explanation than I've heard before. I appreciate
I'm sorry.
that. No, it's good.
I'm sorry it was too...
No, it's
it was too
fantastic.
long.
We got a message from Vicky who says, I was feeling down because of the way the world is now, but in minutes looking at your incredible work and world you have created lifted my spirits and brought a big smile on my face.
Aw,
Your
thank
amazing
you.
soul. Thank you. Yes, and Danny says hi. And Chris...
Danny who? Danny K?
Danny Masterson.
Oh,
It could be Danny K. That'd be weird.
Danny Thomas.
Yeah.
Danny
Christian from Denmark says hello. Hi, Christian.
L. Hello.
Yeah. And Peter loves that Belgium is so important to you. He's the one who's also from Belgium. I wonder where you are in Belgium, Peter. Let us know. All right. Do you want to talk about anything more going on, about any of the characters or any other Belgium stories?
There's... No, I just... I'll answer any kind of questions.
Yeah.
If anyone has a question anything.
Yeah.
Nothing's too personal.
Well, that's true. Mark likes to tell all the stories.
But I don't like to.
Yeah.
I'll tell them.
Ruby says, thanks for sharing why Belgium is important in the boxing ring analogy for the stories from your grandfather.
You're welcome.
And Melissa Boone says, in 1980, I had a near-death experience when I was 15. What I remember was the light. There's a quality of light and color that I can't really explain, but there's something about the way Mark works with light that reminds me of home. I hope it's not untoward for me to say so. I love colored glass and chandelier and crystal lights because of this. That's nice. Yeah. Oh, and Peter's in Ghent, the northern part of Belgium. I have been there many times. It's lovely.
I've only seen it on the map.
Yeah. Okay.
But Marwin calls around there somewhere.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to focus around on what's going on here in case anyone has any questions about construction or what's going on with the dolls or why this vampire lady needs breakfast. Does she eat food?
In my world, it's weird.
So it's this is just standard ladies helping ladies stuff that happens in Marwin Call. And let's talk about this empty or this breakaway plexi that goes down into the
The
cage.
plexi goes down and it's caged because it's the holding cell.
Yeah.
But it's plexiglass, so no one falls into the cage. And so people can look down and see what's going on the, whoever's in the... It's a very weird town, very weird world I live in.
Yeah. So what's going to be happening in the new building? Is it? Would you call it a hospital or would you call it something else?
Not really a hospital, but I do have 2 nurses and 1 doctor, female, and those 2 Silent Hill nurses.
Oh yeah.
And one of them's in a domed thing and with a knife, and she's underneath the dome for a reason. And I figure when shit happens, when the bad guys come strolling in and just think the town full of women, oh no, and that's all one of them has to do is just, one of the nurses is pull that dome off of that, and that nurse from Silent Hill is going to come to life, and her pal and with the knives, and they're going to be all over those Nazis like little fast.
Amazing.
Little singers sewing machines.
Yeah. So Melissa wants to know who makes the dolls. I know you get them from a lot of different sources.
I get them from different companies. The bodies, like Vampirella, she's TB League, which is the steel skeleton, and the flesh-like. I mean, everything's soft. And so that's most of the bodies. Stunt Scrunch is BBI. That's Blue Box International Toys. She still has the original body on her, that one. But the one around my neck, Deja, the original one, she has one of those soft TBI bodies that get dirty really quick. And that's what I need, like rubber gloves when I handle these chicks. And some of them are click, like they're seamless, but they click. They have a plastic skeleton, and I don't trust those because I've had many of those break where their arm breaks. That's it. I can't use them anymore. I don't know how to repair stuff like that. But
Heather asked, do you spend time in the world you create every day? Sometimes you, as a full-size human, get into the stories. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's why all of my pants, all of them, the knees are worn out, blown out. I go through pants a lot. And that's because I'm always on my knees, always on their level. I can't tell how I want to build shit if I'm standing up, 5 feet down from that. It's an aerial shot. Nobody looks at stuff in the aerial shot. So when I'm down like this, on their level, then I can see what they're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm. So Danny wants to know how tall this building is.
36. 36 inches, and then plus 16, I think.
For the roof.
Right. For the,
Extra spot.
but it's 36 up to here.
Yeah. Thomas from the Savannah says hello. Is the last name Gorell, Thomas? He's a shipmate from the USS. Oh, wait.
USS from the what? USS
Savannah.
Yeah, Savannah.
Yeah.
You're like USS, and I'm like, what?
Which
What?
one? Which one?
Which one?
No, I know. You wear the USS Savannah shirt sometimes, so we all know that's your boat.
I don't have the USS Savannah shirt. I wear the Savannah, Georgia
Oh,
shirt.
pardon me.
Because
Pardon
I've
me.
been to Savannah, Georgia on the ship Savannah.
Yeah.
And all of us sailors respected that town. And there was a Japanese ship right behind us. And I put on my leggings and my dress uniform, my leggings and stuff, which my shipmates hated when I did that. Hoagie, stop wearing that shit, man. We're going to have to wear that shit on watch, too. I don't want to put on leggings and stuff and the guard belt and everything. But I want to look like Steve McQueen from the Sand Pebble. But anyway, so I went over the Japanese ship, and there was only one guy on it, and he invited me to his stateroom, and we had sake, and I staggered off that gangplank and into the town of Savannah, and I don't know what happened after that, but it was good times.
I'm sure.
Oh, Savannah, that's
Oh, yeah.
where I got Anastasia,
Yeah.
the first tattoo.
Your
We didn't want to see those.
your first human-sized wife.
Yeah.
So Tom says thanks, was there with you. Dave Goss wants to know how much time do you spend creating all the details of the buildings? It's really work in progress.
See, now, I complete the shell and the shell of the building to where it's watertight, to where I can leave it without running out here and covering up shit. I leave it like this, and to me that's done. It's finished. Then afterwards, now I'm starting to add furniture in here and things I find from the old town, new stuff that I make, that I dig up from other places. But mainly this is all the old stuff that was in the old catfight club, in the house, in the back room, that I used for filming in the wintertime. That was my wintertime shoot. But I figure I'm getting much older, so I have to be out here in the snow. I don't know what sense that makes, but
Makes perfect sense.
so I figure if I want to do filming, I'm going to do it out here.
Oh.
I mean, that catfight club, I made it so I can
We're gonna spin over.
sit in there, close the door behind me, and light a couple of candles, and man, it gets toasty in there.
Yeah.
It's cool. But when I'm in there, I sit Indian fashion, Indian style. But I need to be wearing like just long johns. That's it. Like I have to, like a skin diving suit. Because anything bigger than that gets caught on things. Did they see
Whoop.
the new fountain?
That's what I'm moving towards. You might have to come here just so everyone could hear you. So Mark has a new old fountain here, right at the Catfight Club.
This is in the Marlon Cole book. This is the one when the Nazi that was buried in the road for 2 years, when he came out of the road, and the only thing he wanted was a drink of water, and he was near this, and I filmed this thing, and then Scrunchy and her sister who was booking out of here on a motorcycle and ran into the inside of the dome because she's a bad person. Scrunchy's sister, the evil twin. And anyway, the evil twin shoots the Nazi, and it gets right back up because Nazis respawn. And then Scrunchy said, "I'll show you," and she pointed her finger She put a figure, and he went into the land of the Marlincal night with a sparkler. And I love filming the Marlincal night. Way in the background. And he's like looking around, all of a sudden when somebody shows up, you can see the wings on his helmet turn around and look, oh, customer.
I'm gonna come back onto this fountain because it's so great.
Is Sarah and Harry on?
I didn't see Sarah and Harry yet. Peter says he'd like to have an exhibition of your work in Belgium. We did have a show in Belgium, maybe 5 years ago in Liège. That was really fun. Nice to have his work there in Belgium. We really wanted to make it happen because of how important Belgium is to Mark. And occasionally you're going to hear some fireworks going off because here in the U.S. it is almost 4th of July. So
tomorrow, 4th of July. So I put all these. I knew I had a British flag somewhere for Sarah's figure, like you know. And in my thing of American flags, and for this, there was the British flag. So I figured, I'm going to put that up for Sarah's sake, so Sarah can see it.
Yeah.
And Harry.
For Independence Day.
Yep.
Rachel, hi Rachel. She asks, she does stained glass as a hobby. Have you ever considered mini window stained glass? Could make interesting reflections or colors. Used to have that in the church.
I used to have that in the church. Those I got from I got the clear plexiglass stuff and the black line, that thin rubber stuff that you can make stained glass. You can make designs and stuff on the glass first, and the stained glass paint. That was tedious. That was a lot of work, but I made the stained glass windows in that church. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's why I had to keep the church. There's so much history of Marlincal. I mean, Scrunchy and I got married in there. So
yes, if you haven't seen those photos, we have some of them on the 1 Mile Gallery website.
Yeah, and they're in the book.
And they're in the book, the Marlincal book, which is available on Amazon and at your local, support your local bookstore, please. Also, you probably all know that Mark has a website that we update from time to time with scenes from Marlincal. So go to markhogancamp.com for that. And occasionally on our Artsy page, we'll have a special limited print for you. So just some general updates, some lights. Probably wrapping this up unless people have some more questions. I think we're pretty much done with that. But
this is from the old inside.
Oh, I remember that
clubhouse, Catfight Club.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put it up over. So I'm using as much as I can from the old Marlincal in the new Marlincal. It's still the same Marlincal. It's just recycled stuff.
Yeah. Well, as Roxanne Ratterman says, have a good 4th of July weekend. Stay safe. We say the same to everyone
Also,
as well.
have a safe 4th of July.
Have a safe and happy weekend, everyone. And until next time, which will be announced on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.